All right. Aloha, everybody. Harry Mandibles again. Thanks for checking out the Pumpkin Pandemonium Project. This is going to be a demonstration of the alpha face cuts and what you can do with those. So I've got the pumpkin that I put together in the previous video. I removed the warts and kind of cleaned this up. So first thing I want to do is I just want to shape this guy a little bit and get something a little more pleasing. And I also I'm going to cut a lid into this as well with that cut piece that I put in there in the last video. So let's just quickly, oops, I forgot I've got subdivisions on here. Do that, delete that. Now we will pull this guy out. Excuse me as I'm quiet while I do this. I'm just trying to find a shape that I like for this one. Being a little too picky, but hey, that's all right. All right, that's gonna work for now. This is gonna be a nice, interesting looking pumpkin. So I'm gonna go ahead and accept this. I'm going to, oops, did I not deform the inside? All right. That's okay. You know what? I lost the inner piece, and that's good. This is okay because that's not a problem. If that happens, you know, it happens. What we can do is we'll duplicate this guy, and we'll turn on transparency, and we'll just shrink it down. Give ourselves some depth here. All right. Turn polyframe off, turn transparency off, and that's okay. So to use the alpha cuts, I suggest you use either the mesh extrude or the mesh project. Either one is fine. I'm going to take the mesh project. I think I'm going to switch from stroke to rectangle because you're working with these alphas. The alphas are like perfectly square, so if you keep it square and you drag out, you're not going to have any you shouldn't get any like warping or misshapes with that. So let's pull up, oops. Let's see. Let's just take, I'm gonna take this. Actually, I want this one. We'll use this guy for now. So we've got this alpha selected. I'm gonna switch to a front on view. You know what, I'm not going to work with symmetry on this. I'm just going to pull this out. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered, but there we go. That's like right on the money. And while this is unmasked, I'm going to split this off for now. And we're going to turn on polyframe. So there's a couple ways you can handle this. I'm going to turn the floor off here. You can keep this as it is and just, if you come in and get a good view and do a Control-Shift-Click on a point between this front piece of geometry and this bevel, like so that you get them both. That way you have selected these, and that's what you want. So, whoops, I'm going to get my regular mask back for now and reselect these. Okay, I'm just going to mask these guys off, bring everything back, invert the mask. Did I invert the mask? I did not. Oh, I see what's going on here. Okay, so it has the same poly group on the bevel in the back. um, which is fine because you know what? Show you how to work around that, so you don't have to panic. You just come in. Since this is just one edge loop right here. We're going to grab the poly group, poly loop, and just designate that as a different poly group. Boom. There we go. Now we've just got this. Invert the mask. And if we pull this thing out, perfect. And we're going to turn off solo. So it's coming straight out. Just manipulate things. Like, it's nice to kind of have it like angling in a bit. It just looks like more natural. It looks like a pumpkin that's been carved. That's just my opinion. It's how I like to roll. I always like to pull it out quite a bit. Oops. And this should be okay, but let's turn this off. I do like to make sure as well that I just kind of tuck this back inside this Boolean shape that's going to cut out and hollow the pumpkin out. And that's good. That'll work for now. And if you don't like the angle, you can always just kind of, I'm going to run a curve through this. So this is fun too. You can come in and manipulate this even more. And we're just going to, let's give it like let's mess with the shape a bit. Get something kind of fun and unique here. Play with the handles, see if you can get anything. While you can, I think that's cool. I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to add in some eyes in just a moment. So we'll switch back to this guy. I'm going to select my mesh project brush again, and I'm going to load in, let's find an eye shape. Oh. What do I think looks cool for right now? I think maybe I'll take this guy out. So you only have to make one. Whoops. And while that is, I drew that on the out shell. That's fine. See, it's fun. You get to see me make my mistakes and like how to correct these if you do it yourself. So I'm just going to pull this guy out here. And while he is unmasked, we will split it off and grab him. I'm going to do, again, the same thing I did. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not. I'll show you what I usually like to do. You only need like that shape. So I showed you how you can just change the poly group and keep this shape all together. I'm going to do a delete hidden, and I just have this, and then I'm going to go to geometry, Z remesh, turn on keep groups, detect edges, adapt off, adaptive size, and just remesh this and see what happens. All right. I'm just going to keep going until I get down to like not very much. And that's fine. That'll work. So with it kind of reduced down like that, I'm going to extrude that out with the Z modeler brush. Just pull this out and pull it in again. This way it's intersecting. Turn this on, you can see my gizmo centered, and I'm going to do a, you know what, no. I'm going to duplicate the subtool, and then I'm going to go to Deformation Mirror, and since I have this one already lined up with the gizmo in a way, I'm just gonna get it here. Let's give him some like odd eyes. And you can change the angle too. Like, what's fun is like when you turn on my Boolean, you can see like how these shapes are interacting with each other, and really start to play with those cuts to get them looking right and looking nice. Oops. There we go. I'll shrink him down a little bit too. Let's do this. Maybe he's got like a, yeah, like one of these expressions going on. Okay, we'll turn on that outer shell so you can see where it's coming through. And we're gonna grab this, the outer shell for now. Make a new folder. We'll pull everything up. Needs to go in. Just move this guy back to the top of the list. And set everything to subtract. We'll turn on live Boolean. Turn the stem off for now. So yeah, that's looking neat. Again, we can come through here and let's just change the shape a little bit. Why did this guy get hidden? Alright, that's strange. Oh, okay, I must have hit the... That's my bad. User error here. Hey, you know what? Dude, that looks cool. I'm running with that. I like that. So we're going to take this guy and do a Boolean with dynamic subdiv. Collapse that. Just select him. All right. And I still want to do a white pumpkin. And the meat is always still orange on the inside. So we'll do this. And then I'm going to duplicate this guy off. Go solo mode for a second, turn on alright. Delete hidden. Just gonna do a little polish. Nope. Maybe polish by groups a tiny bit, or polish by features. Geometry, keep groups, detect edges, adapt. Oh, delete hidden first. If I didn't already do that, totally forgot. Dump this size down. Let's see how this looks. That'll work. That's fine for now. Grab Z modeler, and I'm just going to extrude this up a tiny bit. And let's give it that white color. We'll turn solo off. And it's okay if you get some of the pumpkin meat poking through there. Let's see. Let's check this out. For some reason, it didn't want to Boolean the inside, which I think happened because I was using the pumpkin shape. This is why I like to keep that sphere in there, because that usually yields a better result when you cut into these things with the Booleans. So not a big deal. You know, don't let stuff like that be a hang up for you if you ever do it. I mean, I usually just power through it and keep going and figure out a different way to work with things. So, you know, I think for the sake of getting this thing done, I'll probably just stick a primitive back there and use that to kind of fill the space, you know, make it black so that, you know, the counter space for the cuts on the face really pop. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do for this guy. Then we'll add some warts to him and check him out. Oh, actually, I do want to cut into the top and see if I can't create a lid for it. So let's stop this. Let's put an end to this nonsense for a second. We're gonna delete these. Goodbye. NBD. We don't need this in here either. And I'm going to delete this and make it a fresh cut. But we'll go back here, turn all these guys on. think what I'll do is merge these shapes down. That should give us the right merge down. Let's see. All right, let's try this. There we go. Now we got the inside. Cool. All right. So let's pop open this IMM brush. I'm going to grab a 6-sider and I'm going to turn the stem on just so I can kind of see. And we'll turn transparency on. I should be able to, yep, turn on double. I'm just going to blow this thing way up. And we'll sink it in. Just want to check and see that it's not cutting into the stem too much. That's fine. So I'm going to come in with the Z modeler and just add in, whoops, let's split this off. I'm just going to throw in just edge loops, or just an edge around the top and everything, so that when I turn on dynamic, yeah. Well, before we do that, oh, I really screwed this up. Nope. All right. Okay, we don't need this. I'm just gonna kill this. Go back. See, I am far from perfect, but that's all right. That's okay. Doesn't stop me. Shouldn't stop you. We'll split this off again. And now, I think what I'll do is I'm going to take this edge off. I'm going to crease these edges. And let's go ahead and crease the edge loop complete around the outers. Oops. If I can get a good view. Yeah. It's keeping the hard edge, which is fine. That's all I want. That's fine for now. And we're going to give it 0.02 thickness. Apply. Okay. All right. So we've got this mesh that we just made. Let's throw a new folder. Let's stick that in there. We'll put our cut up here. And reposition. Turn solo mode off. Turn that off. You can see that the cut's happening. Why is it not? Let's sink it in a little bit more. Let's shrink it. There we go. That cut is in place. You'll see the stem is really coming through. Not a big deal. You can just come in and clip that off and keep it tucked into the flesh of the pumpkin up here. So let's run that. Hide the stem. So these are two parts now. What you want to do is do an auto groups. I can select this. Oops. split this off into its own guy. We take this, got a little lid. It's nice and tapered, so like if you want to 3D print this and make it like a little like candle holder or something, like I was saying, you've got a lid that'll just like rest right where it needs to. And we can hide this guy. I'm going to use the new knife curve. Oops. Make sure I'm on the right tool. There we go. So that's kind of a very rough way of getting in there and doing the a cut to the top. I would wait until you cut the face out before you add the top in, just so you can see like how everything like aligns, and then you don't have any like weird intersections with the top cut. I think I'm going to reshape those and put thickness in there so that you can see it when it's being drawn out, and that it's already got just enough that it's not going to destroy too much of the geometry when it intersects it, and gives you like a nice clean cut. So yeah, that's going to get refined, but it works for now. It does what it needs to do. I mean, this is nothing right here. Like, look, this is like the geometry is still like kind of shitty and low res, but that still looks pretty cool. But you know, once you are happy with how you like this, I mean, you can keep going and detailing. I mean, we can, you know, like I said, like I thought about filling that in, and I think I'll do that. I'll just grab a primitive real quick. We're going to set its fill to black. Actually, let's do something real quick. We'll just initialize it, make it a Q sphere, give it some subdivision, and just kind of like I'm just going to pull this guy into place. And you know what? Let's pop some eyeballs in just to see. I think these peepers look nice. Let's give this peeper some. Let's see what would look cool. Maybe some blue. We're gonna go in this around this range. Oops. Oh, that's actually kind of neat if you made that like a glowing kind of fill there. Let's fill that for now. Let's come back, grab that color. You can just sink this guy right back in. Pull out another one, make it a little bit bigger. Let's get a little dynamic subdivision so you can see. Same here. Let's just beef this guy up some. Oh, that's actually kind of interesting. I wouldn't let that sit as it is. I probably would have like Z-remesh this too, like if I was doing this. I'll do that again in another video and just show you how you can kind of keep it a little bit cleaner, because I've done these before, and you know, it does give you that kind of like gnarly stuff. Like, you know, if you auto group things, I should have done a remesh before I auto grouped, and that would have kept things a little bit cleaner. And then you could do the trick that I do typically, where I duplicate this off and just take the the outer shell of geometry to kind of create the little like thin husk of the pumpkin. But yeah, it's kind of funky. Maybe we'll try a remesh real quick and see what that does. Ooh, that is ugly. So if it gets kind of wonky like that, let's do like a, oh wow. Yeah, even that looks kind of funky. Yeah, actually this one might be completely like whiffed. Not a big deal. Since we have everything up here, what we can do is just delete these guys. And it is totally okay to mess up. Oops, turn everything on. This is what's great about that, is you can totally do all these screw ups like this. So now while these are split, the poly groups are still in place, we can go to deformation, do a little polish by groups. Don't need much, just like 1 or 2 slides will do it. Then we'll go down to remesh, keep groups, detect edges, adapt to off, adaptive size, crank down to 0. And let's see if it works. All right. Just want to have a little touch of orange in there. So if I hit dynamic, still have our groups, totally cool. And you don't even have to auto group, I forgot. You don't really need to do that. If you want to just, don't need that tool. So do a control shift drag across the bottom. And if you hold down if you hold down control shift and press A, you will bring everything that is attached together to the front. So we have this, and then we can mask that, and we'll bring the top piece back, and we will do a split unmasked. So now we have this guy intact. I'm just going to do a crease poly group. Turn solo mode off. We'll apply that to this guy too. Just kind of tightens it up a little bit. So what I'll do is duplicate both and merge those together. I'll just turn solo mode on for a second. Oh, whoops. All right. Accidentally merged the wrong subtools. That's okay. I wanted to merge the pumpkin and the lid together. So we'll do that. I'm going to turn solo on again. It's nice to do when you just want to get what you need. So I've selected the top part of the lid, and I'm going to revert back, and I'm just going to select the outer part of the hull, or the shell of the pumpkin, and bring those back, do a delete hidden. And now I can do my little trick. We can just group these together so you only have to do it once. And even if you don't, you know what, I'll undo it. Get our Z modeler brush, go back to get a view where you can see like how much is being extruded. I think that's good. And as long as you don't do it again, you can just tap here and get the same amount of depth that you pull out. So we want that to be this like kind of like creamy white color of the pumpkin. I'll turn solo mode off. We'll select this guy and give him, let's give it a nice good orange. Fill object. In fact, I might even I'm going to do that again. I'm going to group them together, and with this part, now with the inner meat showing, I'm just going to keep pulling until I don't have, ooh. Okay, so there's a little wonkiness right there. Deformation, polish box features. And it's okay that it's kind of getting screwy unless you want things to be like super clean. But that is up to you. You can just kind of smooth it out. Oops. But I like having this separated so that I can kind of come in and manipulate stuff around it. So it looks like it was cut into a little bit, and just kind of, to me it looks cool. I don't know, gives it a little extra detail. And when I'm carving actual pumpkins, I tend to do this as well, because I like to go in with like clay loops and scrape away the shell so that the meat is revealed. Then you can start sculpting into that, and just the little texture and plane changes and little, I don't know, undercuts and stuff you can get between the hull and the I'll pull this out a little bit too, just to see. And kind of add to the expression a little bit, get him looking a little crazier than he was. And that's not bad. So we'll divide him up some. Not exactly the best color to work off, but we'll just, oops. Just get a couple creases in here. I'm not going to go full detail with this. I'm just trying to make a point, of process of when you start adding details and such, once you get everything into play, you definitely want to beef up the resolution on this part. Get your damn standard brush or whatever you like to detail with, and just kind of come in and put in some of that, the grooves and the creases that happen on the outside of a pumpkin. Perspective and look at this guy for a second. So our stem needs some color. Let's make that darker. Object. I'm going to uncrease the inside of that, just so it looks a little smoother. It kind of looks cool. Let's just go with a basic material. Oops, if it will let me. Okay, there you go. Kind of get some of the details. I'll just let that render real quick and see how that looks. It's kind of cool. I don't know. I dig it. I think I might have to work with some of the white pumpkin colors. Yeah, looks neat. Adds a little variety. I mean, there's so many different ways to do this. Like I said, I mean, every time I do it, I do something different, and I try something different. I'll screw up, and I'll make mistakes, and I'll figure out how to correct those, on the fly, or at least just push through it. Don't let don't let your inability or inexperience stop you from going with this. Like, this is what it's all about, because you can learn from every different way that you make one of these. It's open-ended, it's fun. You don't have to think about what you have to make like that. The idea is established, and then it's just up to you to take it from point A to point B. And that's where the real fun and good time with this project is, doing it like that. I forgot to, I was gonna like pop the top off and kind of have him like flipping his lid, because like, the view where we have it right now, like the lid is sunk in there. I mean, that's no big deal. We'll just see how this looks when it's rendered, and maybe I'll make a thumbnail of this with the lid and stick that up there. But yeah, have fun with this stuff, man. And if you please, like, check it out, try it out, let me know what you think. I mean, I'm having a blast with this myself, but I'm partial to Halloween and pumpkins, so for me this is like right up my alley and something to do. It's getting me like ready for Halloween. Like, you can even get your pumpkins, assess like how they look and shape the pumpkin to match that, and then start sculpting in the face that you want to put in there. That way, you can pre-plan your pumpkin carving. I did that last year. It was kind of fun. I'm going to do it again this year with actual pumpkins, and I will use this. Oh, see, that's kind of funky. I don't know. I dig it. It makes me smile. So yeah, have fun with this, and thanks for checking this out. Be sure to follow me on like social media, especially Instagram. I'm going to be doing 31 Days of Pumpkin throughout October. And as of the recording, this is on sale for half off on Artstation. It's also up on Cuberush, Gumroad, and Flip Normals. I'll be posting whenever there's sales, because I will always put this thing at a discount whenever I can. I try to keep the price low, like, get me a cup of coffee. That's basically all I'm asking for this, is I need the caffeine to keep going, and this is for everybody else's benefit, not just mine. Like, I'm doing this because I've spent years watching people stream and learning from them, and I hope that I'm starting to get to a level where I can like make things that give back, or at least I can speak from my own experience of being a ZBrush journeyman, I guess, or a 3D artist journeyman, where I'm learning, because I am transitioning. I'm going from graphic design to 3D. This is what I want to do. I'd love to get into like toy design. But I've made lots of mistakes along the way, and I've learned from those, and I've learned that it's okay. And I know that I'm not alone in that. And I see people always chime in with, how do I break through these like mental barriers that I put up, or like, how do I get over creative block? Well, like, I'm hoping that I can make projects that will solve that for you, give you something to do. Doesn't necessarily have to be a portfolio piece. It just has to be more of a therapeutic piece. 'Cause sometimes that's all you need. It's just like that space to like, to get over your own barriers, and that's all they are. And once you do, man, like, you really start cooking and having fun. So anyway, enough jammered from me. Thanks for checking this out, and be sure to like and subscribe, as I'll be posting more videos. And every pumpkin I do in October, I plan on streaming, or at least recording and sticking up. I'll have an October 2021 playlist that'll just be 31 days of these pumpkins. So yeah, I'm Harry Mandibles, and happy sculpting.